Welcome to another episode of Not Too Deep with me, your host, Grace Ann Helbig, the first. Today we have an amazing comedian, host, wrestling enthusiast, tiny toy collector person. It's Jeff Dye with us on this episode of Not Too Deep. We talked about a lot of things, mostly I guess that I'm mean to him. So I have some thinking to do about my own behavior. But in the meantime, enjoy this episode of Not Too Deep with Jeff Dye.
Not too deep.
OkCupid is the only dating app that finds you someone based on who you are and what you're into. Answer fun questions and meet someone who shares your deep love or loathing of pineapple on pizza or commiserate on your views of the current state of the world. The OkCupid app has awesome people like you who are into what you're into. Download the free OkCupid app today.
Not too deep. Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
Rock
Let's
and roll.
not be deep.
Not deep.
Also, I'll steer away from any jokes whatsoever.
Yeah, we want this to be bland and
Yeah.
surface. It is the new brand for Not
I
Too
like
Deep
it.
2019. Jeff
Yeah.
Dye, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome
I like
to-
what you've done with the place.
Thank you. You like what I've done with my producer's place.
Yes.
I appreciate it
Yeah,
very
it's
much.
nice. It's beautiful.
I sort of started doing this on some podcasts in the past, but I decided that I'm going to start opening up every podcast in 2019 with this question for every guest.
Okay.
What is your deal?
What is my deal? It's a good question. I feel like a dog. I'm very much a dog.
Okay.
I'm nice. I'm
Elaborate.
friendly. I'm annoying. I'm not that bright. But if I bother you, just push me away. I'll go bother someone else.
All right. I mean, and also on planes, you're enjoyable.
Yeah, people are happy to sit by me. They go, oh. And then when the dog wants a little attention too much, then you put on your headphones.
Yeah. No, because dogs recognize headphones.
Well, the owner would go, hey. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The owner would be like, oh, he doesn't want to be bothered by
All
my
right,
dog
let's talk
anymore.
about planes. You travel immensely.
Yes.
You are on the road tons.
Yes.
What's your, I guess, what's
What's
your
my deal?
yeah, what's your follow-up question to what's your
Every
deal?
question.
What is your deal? No, what's your worst plane experience if you've ever had one?
Oh, it's going to
Or a standout.
sound... No, it's going to sound like, oh, that's your worst problem.
All right.
But it still affects me. I still haven't let go of it. So I'm aware that I shouldn't let this bother me, but
Give
it
us a
still
precursor
bothers
to
me.
the story. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it just still bothers me. I fly always on the first flight. I'm always on the 5 a.m. or the 6 a.m. I just want,
wow.
because I'd rather sleep on a plane than,
Miss a flight.
I don't want to
you
waste
ever
my
missed a flight?
time. But if I'm already going to be asleep in a bed, might as well do it on a plane.
Okay.
So that's my logic.
Okay.
I get more of my life free if I just sleep on a plane
Sure.
instead of a bed. So I'm getting that. So I like the window seat. So
Yeah.
I get on the airplane and there's already a lady in my window seat. And she's asleep. She's got like a thing over her face. She just kind of think. Most humans would just let that go. They would say, okay, I guess I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll sit in the seat next to it, like next to the person, whatever.
It's a she.
What's it? It was a woman.
Yeah.
Well, I sit in the seat next to my seat.
Yeah.
That's where the it came from. It is a seat. And so then I didn't know what to do, so just kind of like sat down.
You did Mr. Burns
Yeah, I did
fingers. for a
this.
little bit.
Whenever I'm pondering, I go, It's not
You
just
become
for the evil.
An actual cartoon character.
It's also for
the nervous. What are we supposed to do?
Pensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. And then a different lady came and was like, hey, I think you're in my seat. And I was like, oh, well, she's in my seat. I don't know what to do. And she's like, out. She's like, let's sleep. So I finally just find a flight attendant. I go, hey, I think she's in my seat.
Yeah.
And, oh, no, I didn't do that. So sorry. I tapped her. I said, hey, I think you're in my seat. She goes, sit right there. I'm already asleep. Also,
She sounds super fun.
oh, man. I was like, there's very rare moments where like, wait a minute, I'm a grown man. I shouldn't have to do that.
I'm in addition to her, an adult.
But that's my mind. Is like very few moments where I step back and go, yeah, I didn't have to take that. But what I did is I sat in her seat like a punk. I just sat there, and then the flight attendant came,
How long
and there
was
was
the
whatever,
flight?
and then I go, you know what, I'm gonna tell. Because we hadn't even taken off yet. I'm gonna snitch. So I
Yeah,
go,
snitches get stitches.
she's in my seat. I'm the window seat, and she's in my seat. And the lady, and maybe because for whatever reason, I'm speculating that they might be the same race. The lady goes, Well, she's already asleep. Just sit here. Took her side and made me sit in her seat.
How long was the flight?
I don't know. I don't remember. This was years ago. But I sat in her seat.
I mean, that chivalry is not dead.
Was it a aisle
wasn't
seat?
chivalry.
Was it
What
an
are you
aisle
talking
seat
about?
at least?
What a spin.
No, it was a middle seat,
No,
I
it
assume.
was a middle.
Oh, lame.
I know.
Yeah, but you're right. That is your worst
I know
flying
it's not
story.
that bad. Yeah, but it's just like I like in my mind it's like, why couldn't someone just been like, hey, that's the seat you got. You can have your seat that you paid for.
What would you do if the roles were reversed? If you accidentally took someone's seat and you fell asleep?
There was no accident, Grace. It was not like she accidentally was in my seat. She had a middle and she wanted
But
the
also,
window and she
okay, I'm
punked
gonna,
me
I'm
hard.
gonna give this woman so much credit.
Of
because
course you will.
if
You always take the side
No,
of
I'm gonna take the side of
anyone
someone that is
wronging me in a story.
aggressively pranking someone in
Oh, what
public.
a prank.
I mean, can you imagine if that's your MO being like, I got a middle seat, but what if I get on the plane first? I'm just going to take the fucking window and pretend I took a Valium and pass the fuck out, and then no one can touch me.
Well, that's what's I think that is this is gonna get too deep. I think that's the problem with life is when people go, oh, I have no interest in what other people want. I have no interest in this.
Well,
I
that's-
just want a window seat, and so I'm selfishly gonna take it.
No, and that, yeah, because that's exactly how I feel about people that just sort of hover into a line and then become ahead of you in line. And I'm so non-confrontational that I'll just let them do it, but I will nonstop just stare them down the whole time just to let them know I see what's happening and you see that I see what's happening. It's not going to change anything, so I'm not going to say anything, but like, how do you live the rest of your life? How do you go? What do you do when you go on?
Airports is the only place where people just forget how lines work. They're like, oh, don't we
No,
just
so
file in from the middle?
The DMV is the only other place that I've recently learned is also a place where people forget what lines are. I had a similar-ish experience, except it was the
is this
opposite.
a bit? Is she doing a bit?
Oh no, this is called a story.
kidding.
It's a story.
That's just a little justice for you.
I'm out. Thank you for being the first guest on the shortest episode of Not Too Deep. It's been really fun.
Oh,
Go watch
Grace.
his podcast.
Grace,
He's got a
don't do this to me. I
Patreon. He'll
love
be in
you.
Columbus, Ohio at
Grace.
some point doing stand-up. Who the fuck knows?
Grace, stop it.
No, I was at the DMV and this old woman that, you know, she was for lack of a better term, a
Gross.
leech.
Oh, sorry. How to put this delicately? She was the worst person in the world.
No, I thought she was with another group of people. There's no groups of people at the DMV. Everyone is an individual like hero trying to make it through this like Zelda
You're
course.
a saint if you go with your friend to the DMV.
Oh God, literally, yeah. You owe them a kidney if they come with
I would
you.
not know anyone to be like, I'll go with you and wait in
I'll
hell.
just hang out in the worst place ever where no one wants to be.
We'll make it fun.
This woman just started loudly talking at this other woman who obviously was non-confrontational and just like absorbed whatever she was talking about. And that's how she cut in line, is that she made everyone else think that she was friends with this woman and that this
Nice.
woman had been holding her spot. And I was like, it's not worth my time, but this old woman has a gimmick and she's sticking to it. And I respect that sort of. And I kind of love watching this other woman just have to take it on and look around and just be like, I don't know her.
I don't respect that at all.
Anyway, I got a really great DMV photo out of it, so that's all that mattered.
You're confusing evil with clever. You go, oh, wow, you know what? At least she was smart. No, she was deceptive.
Yeah, maybe
And
I could.
also really forced
Maybe
herself on other people's goodwill.
I'll talk to my therapist this week about my ability to confuse liars with very smart people.
It's like people like, I found a loophole, man. They should have, I don't have to pay these taxes. And you're like, wow, he's smart. He found a loophole.
Okay, so one, you've done a million things,
Thank you.
which is very fun to talk about. What's the thing that you hate talking about the most that you've ever done?
I don't mind talking about any of it. I guess there's a show called Numbnuts that
I
people
literally am
love
looking
bringing
at
up.
this right now. I was like, is it numbnuts?
Well, actually, here's the thing I love talking about the most and hate when people ask me about the most, which is, I know that sounds contradicting. I love Bigfoot so much, and I could talk about Bigfoot for hours and hours and hours. Like, I'm obsessed
The
with
actual
Bigfoot. Yes.
mystical creature?
It's not mythical. It's just a bipedal
I said
hominid that lives
mystical.
in the woods. Oh, it is mystical. Yeah, it's very mystical. Monkeys. There's thousands of these monkeys. They live in the woods. It's great. They walk upright. They're awesome. They hide.
Okay.
So I love talking about Bigfoot. But the problem is that it's in my bio. It says like Bigfoot enthusiast because I thought that would be real cheeky to put in my bio. But whenever I go to like morning television to promote comedy shows,
That's the only thing that they talk about.
and they go, that'd be fun, huh?
Yeah.
I see that you're a Bigfoot enthusiast. And then I have to be like, I take this very seriously. It's the one thing I'm very passionate about.
Okay, go on.
That's it. So I hate it when they ask me about it because I do like talking about it, but when they think it's like this fun thing to bring up.
Oh, I'm with you. I was
Yeah.
in the Miss New Jersey pageant when I was in college, and I also did pole vault when I was in high school, and somehow people found out and put it on my Wikipedia page, and it's
Yeah.
the only thing that gets brought up in interviews ever when
Yeah.
I go to any place, and it's the worst thing that to be like, yes. Both of these things are true.
So you used to be an athlete and in beauty pageants, and now you're silly.
Yeah, can you imagine? And that's that. Please come to my show. Okay, well, you've done a billion prank shows.
Yeah, I love pranks.
Were you into pranks before you got the hosting gig for these prank shows?
Yes, much so. Very
Okay.
much so. I think I like a prank because it's fun and you're usually doing it to like have a good time, but it's also a little mischievous.
Sure.
So that's what I like about it is you're kind of doing something you maybe shouldn't.
do. I hate pranks.
Yeah. Well, you generally, with the exception of my show, Money from Strangers, you generally are pranking people you love or someone like it's like a goof. And also not to put YouTubers in a box, but there's a lot of pranks on YouTube that I don't care
No,
for.
that's what I'm not into that genre on YouTube.
Yeah,
at
where
all.
they're like, I just slapped my girlfriend in the face with flour while she was asleep. Aren't we wild? Don't worry, she'll get me back by putting a roach in my underwear. It's like, this is not a prank. You guys are just mean.
Yeah, also YouTuber pranks just actually ruin like pedestrians' lives
Yeah.
because they don't know that they're part of a YouTube prank. They just remember that they saw something horrific on the street
Right.
happen. And that's the part I hate the most is
Right.
the innocent people that as a byproduct have to go on with the rest of their day and pretend that
I
didn't
think
happen
I saw
to
a dead
them.
body. You're like, it was a dummy. But also, like, there's a spectrum of pranks, and I enjoy like a playful, fun,
A
gag.
silly goof.
Yeah,
A
or
goof and a
scaring
spoof.
someone or something like that. That's really funny to me.
What's the worst prank that's ever been pulled on you? If there has been one.
That's a good. It wouldn't seem very clever to you. It would. I'm very
Okay.
guarded telling you things.
Hey, you're on Not Too Deep, the loosest podcast, the award-winning,
Great.
streamy award-winning podcast.
I think I've
Not
told you
Too
this before.
Deep.
You're very cool, and you're hip to the internet. You're a very attractive woman. So when you tell someone something, usually they go, "Oh, Jeff's a silly guy." You just tend to make fun of everything I say.
No,
you're like, what? Ah!" And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
did I say a word wrong? Oh God, is my shirt not hip enough?" Like
I don't like this anymore.
So I hesitate to tell you something, and you're gonna go, "That's not a good tale."
This first
None
podcast
of
of
my other
2019
friends-
is really indicative of where my year's going.
None of my other friends do I have to like punch up the stories or feel like it's got to be hip.
I'm just trying to relate to you, bro.
Are you? Okay, so I'll tell you, it's not a good prank, but
You're the one that's feeling negative about things.
maybe I'm projecting.
I'm
not
welcoming you
negative.
into a safe space where you can tell us stories and we get to authentically react to them.
Well, okay, then I guess I was just questioning if it is a safe space. That's all I was.
I mean,
was
do you
just
see what
making
Mitchell's wearing
sure.
right now? This is a safe space.
This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's not a great prank, but we were like in 5th grade, and it was so gross. These kids came up to me, and they're my friends, and they go, "Dude, have you had the new Pepsi One or whatever the new product was, Coke Zero or whatever this thing was?" And they go, "It tastes exactly like Coca-Cola." And I was like, "No, dude, those always taste different and gross and weird." He goes, "No, but this one, I think they screwed up and they put the wrong label on it or something. It tastes just like..." And when I drank it, it was obviously had like cheese and all this like crap that they just found on the lunchroom table. And so I went like just like a dummy, didn't feel it or shake. I just like drank it and then spewed like everywhere on the lunchroom table. That's definitely the worst prank that anyone's ever pulled.
Those are good friends.
They're horrible friends, yeah.
I mean, the build-up sounded like an actual like Pepsi commercial.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like, have
but
you
this
tried
one must
this?
be wrong. Yeah. Well, and also, I stopped hanging out with those guys.
in 5th grade?
Just so you know.
Name names.
If you look at my friend circle now,
Name-
they're not in it.
Name names. Name names.
It was Matt Rootsiger.
Okay.
You know him?
Well, we'll know him now.
Yeah.
Seek him out.
Yeah, he's not a public figure, but Matt Rootsiger. If I ever see you again. ...
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about your and Terry Bradshaw's actual bromance.
Yeah.
Which
That
is...
makes it sound sexual.
No, that's very sweet.
Romance is the word that it's from?
You have a very sweet relationship with an adult man.
Yeah.
That's a bromance. We'll be right back
All the
with
way
Jeff
you're
Dye.
wording it is weird.
Not too deep.
Support for today's show comes from Third Love. Using millions of real women's measurements, Third Love designs its bras with breast size and shape in mind for an impeccable fit and incredible feel. Just answer a few simple questions from Third Love's Fit Finder quiz to find your perfect fit. Third Love offers double the number of sizes that most brands offer, cups A through H, bands up to 48, and with lightweight memory foam cups, straps that won't slip, and tagless labels, you'll want to wear these soft and breathable bras and underwear every day, especially the new cotton t-shirt bras and underwear. But thanks to the 100% fit guarantee, returns and exchanges are free and easy. Guys, I've said this before, I'm a sports bra enthusiast through and through. When Third Love sent me some of their bras, I have been fully converted. Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering you beautiful listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/grace now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/grace for 15% off today.
And we're in.
Thank you. Welcome back. Jeff Dye now hosts the podcast called Not Too Deep.
I like to do the part where I say, and we're in.
Okay, let's talk about better late than never.
Yes.
Better late than ever. Describe this to people that don't know, because I have tried to wrap my brain around this, and it's the craziest seeming TV show of all time.
Yeah, it's a travel show
Yeah.
with 4 really famous old guys. So it's kind of like Grumpy Old Men meets like, I don't know what...
Well, that's
a travel show, you know?
Yeah, you're the tour organizer and suitcase holder for senior male celebs.
Well, yeah, it's Terry Bradshaw, Henry Winkler, William Shatner, and George Foreman, and they're on the adventure of a life. They're trying to travel the world now that they've done. They're kind of done with their work in a way.
They're doing like bucket list stuff.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And so they just want to go see the world and go to places they've never been or places that they didn't get to spend much time in when they had to work there.
Yeah.
And enjoy themselves. I represent like if.
The
viewer, like if a viewer, youthful compared to them.
Yeah.
Like if the viewer's like, I wonder what it'd be like to travel with them. You kind of get to witness it through me. I'm like the unknown.
You're the audience
who's like,
point of view.
When he says something silly, I go, oh god. You know, like when they're being such silly old men, I get to go. You know, like I represent that.
You roll your eyes more than they do.
Yeah. I screw things up more than anybody.
And you guys went to Asia?
Asia was season 1. Yeah, we went to
and Europe.
Yeah, and then Europe and Africa.
Oh God, it just seems cumbersome.
What does cumbersome mean?
Well, it just seems like a lot.
It was a lot. But it's also NBC. They're like taking care of us. They're paying us. And
Yeah, did you have to audition
basically
to be that host?
Sort of.
Okay.
They had like a few people they were considering. And then my boss at NBC just goes, Jeff Dye is going to be that. And they were like, because he's the highest up at NBC. So they were like, we have to. But I just went to Henry Winkler's house and had tea with him. And then Henry's like, yeah, I like that guy. He's the guy. So way more went into casting the 4 men than me. I just got to have tea at Henry. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm going to Henry Winkler's house. And they're like, yeah, here's his address. I was like, what do I do? And he goes, just talk to him. And I was like, that's it. So I spent hours.
I would kill for an audition that was only having tea with him.
It was amazing. He's this beautiful home. His wife came downstairs. We were chatting it up with her. He had a 3-legged dog running around the living room.
Of course he does.
It was
He's
incredible.
The
Yeah,
boss.
he was so nice. And all his workers keep coming up, you want more lemon pound cake? And I was like, where am I? Like, this is the weirdest. It was such a delight. But we bonded a lot because he has dyslexia. I have dyslexia. He had a lot of learning things. He had a lot of issues with his parents. I have issues with my parents. So there was a lot. We had a lot in common.
You had a lot to relate to.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's super nice. How's it been actually traveling with them?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're all really fun.
And you and Terry are really good friends now.
I think we get along the best because, and this sucks that I would believe this, but I think we just have the most in common, so that makes
Yeah.
us easier to get along. I wish that
Why
I
does
didn't.
it suck that you would believe that?
You should be able to click really well with people that you have nothing in common with too.
Sure, but
it's
also
just
that's
like,
the reason like people relate to each other is
Yeah.
they have things in common.
But I don't want to just like people who are like me.
Oh, because you hate yourself, and so you want to
but
be
I just
able
like
to hate
it's
people.
sad that I'm like he's just like me, so I love him. Like that. I've done a lot
That's
of
how
reflecting
friendship
on that.
happens.
I guess. Sometimes I'm drawn to people that aren't like me. Grace.
Sure. I mean, there's a whole gamut, there's a whole spectrum, but
Yeah.
it's also okay to admit that you like
Yeah.
someone that's exactly like you.
Well, he's just like an old version of me. I feel like he's very playful and silly. He's always goofing off. Like
yeah,
have
you
to
spent
really,
the holidays with him.
Yeah, I spent the last 3 Christmases, the last 3 Thanksgivings.
Oh, the
with
last
him.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, and how has it been?
It's fun. He lives on this big ranch where there's all these animals. It's the best.
Yeah, he literally, I feel like I saw photos and videos over the holidays. It seems like he has an adoption facility.
He has like 12 dogs.
That seems illegal, but I guess in Texas you can do whatever you want.
When you have like 300-acre ranch, you can have
you're
as
Terry
many.
Bradshaw.
Yeah, they don't. Nobody's policing it. Have you been to a dog shelter? They're begging you to take them. They're like, "You want this?" You're like, yeah. You gonna kill it? No. All right, now I have a dog. That's all it takes.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. So when Terry comes in, they just give him the whole place.
What other animals does he have?
He has like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of horses. That's his main animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how he makes all of his money. He like breeds them and shows them and.
Does he race them?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
So you guys don't get into like deep conversation.
Well, I know nothing about horses. So whenever I try to limp in on a horse conversation, they all look at me like, why is the boy trying to learn about, because I don't know anything. I'm like, how many horses you got? And they're like, don't ask someone that. And I was like, why? And he goes, because that's like asking how much money you have in your bank account. I was like, I didn't know that. I was just asking you a horse question.
Have you learned any of the names of any of the horses? Because that seems to be the funniest thing about horses to me is like the ridiculous names that they have.
No, I don't know. He has a donkey named Snoop Dunk, which I think is great.
That's great. That's great. That seems appropriate.
It's
correct.
great. And he's got a bunch of cows. There's a ton of cows up there.
Okay.
He's got some Simmental cattle. He's got a bunch of bulls. My favorite is he has a barn of pigs, and I love pigs. I don't eat meat because I met a pig like 11 years ago. And
They have a kindergartner's level of education.
oh, really?
That's what people say about pigs, that they're smarter than
Oh,
dogs.
they're so sweet. I love pigs. That's why I don't touch meat because of this one pig. But anyways, he has a whole barn full of pigs, and you
Wait,
can
can
go
we
play
go
with
back
them.
to tell us about the one pig that made you stop eating meat?
Yeah, I was with a girl. We went to like a winery, and there was this little pig running around, and I saw, and they're all drinking wine and gossiping and being like,
And you were laser focused on this pig.
I couldn't believe there's a pig here. I was like, there's a pig running around. So I'm playing with the pig, and the guy that's like teaching them about wine and all that kind of stuff in the winery. He saw that I was more interested in the pig, so he goes, "Yeah, that pig lives here, is whatever, friend of ours." And I was like, man, he seems like real smart. And he goes, "Yeah, they're very smart." So then, when I went back to the table to pretend like I was an adult again and drink wine with everyone, the pig kept nudging me. And I was like, what's going on? And he goes, he remembers you. Like, he knows that you're the one that was playing with him. So whatever. I'm like, oh, that's nice. So I'm playing with him under the table. And then I ignore him and I'm looking at the girls again. And then he put his chin on my knee. The same way my dog. He just like rested. And I was like, oh, never again. Never will I. I can eat fake pork, eat soy pork or whatever. But Terry has a barn full of pigs, and he won't go in there because they will all be slaughtered and given away. Like,
so he doesn't want to have any emotional connection to any of them.
Because he will.
Yeah.
He knows he will.
Yeah. Oh, that's very sweet.
But he donates that meat. It's like some sort of charity where he raises the pigs and then gives all the meat to this charity.
That's
that
really
needs
great.
Food.
Yeah, no, I watched a couple of different like documentaries about like raising pigs with like respect to be slaughtered, but like in like the most like giving them the best lives they can.
Well, if they die of old age, I support that. Like
You'll
if
eat
the
that
pig dies of old age, and then they cut it up and all that. He's got like a little gray beard and a cane, and they're like, well, he passed away,
Yeah.
Old Peepaw, we can cut him up now.
Okay, yoga, question mark, is a question I have for you. You love yoga.
I love yoga, yeah.
How long have you been into that?
Like 10 years.
How did that happen?
A girl. Like everything else in my life. Like I get introduced to a thing and then I go, this is fantastic. And then long after that person's gone, I'm still into it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I love yoga. Do you like it?
Rather die, but
Really? You don't enjoy it?
No, it's something I should enjoy. I know that eventually I have plenty of time to enjoy it. I have
What,
gone
you're
in.
making yourself do yoga?
No, I should. I call it just fancy stretching.
Okay.
And I have gone in peaks and valleys in my life of dabbling with fancy stretching, and I know eventually I need to because I got bad knees.
You know
Real
who
bad
would hate
knees.
you calling it fancy stretching?
Every person that likes
Yogis.
yoga.
What a oversimplification.
I get it. Sun salutations.
Marriage, or as I call it, codependency. Like what semantics you've put on that.
Well, that's all it is. It's very slow, and I
It's
get
more
very.
for your mind than your body.
I know, and
Yeah.
that's probably where I'm at. That I can't enjoy it right
Oh,
now.
interesting.
It's too slow. It gives me too much time to think about my thoughts. So
Well, there's lots of the yoga that I kind of do back and forth.
yeah.
It's called yoga sculpt. So you have like light weights and it's very fast paced.
Yeah.
And it's to be fair, it's very vain. Like that's more for your body. Like just trying to be like, oh, it's the new year. Like I want to like sweat it all out.
That's the
and
only
get
time
strong.
I've done yoga is doing like YouTube, like 10-minute high intensity yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the only
You're
time.
doing it on YouTube?
Ever heard of it?
Yeah, but not for yoga, ding dong.
Do
Go
you
to a
realize-
studio where there's other humans. That energy connects, and
Do you
you're with
realize
people.
that I don't have to pay $90 a month
Oh,
and I can get it for
Yeah,
free?
please
on my
send Grace your
laptop?
money. She can't afford yoga, guys.
Go to my
poor
patreon.com/Jeff Dye's Friends Podcast or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, the sadness of a millionaire. How can she?
I just don't like the energy of people. Like when I work out, I like to be in a very isolated space. That's why I run. That's my
I
form
love
of yoga.
that. I like running too.
Yeah, it's very isolated.
That's
And-
probably why I got bad knees, though, huh? The running.
Oh yeah, no stretching, all running. Yeah, that makes bad knees.
I don't think you don't like yoga. I think you have a problem with stretching. I think that you
Yeah,
just
it's too
hate
slow.
stretching.
I just want to get to the activity, get in, get out, and then be done, and
Yeah.
then feel bad about it later when my knees hurt and I can't walk anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm so much in my phone and computer and all that kind of like I'm too much. When people complain like people are in their phone too much, I'm that guy. I'm in my phone way too
Yeah,
much.
what's your social media platform go to? Like, what's the one that you?
Probably Instagram.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is like I'm in my phone so much that like yoga's a nice like it forces me to be away from my phone because I'm in like a hot studio around people. So I like that part of it. Like that's
Yeah.
the one time I'm forcing myself to like,
No,
disconnect.
my best ideas and my only ideas come from when I'm running or taking a shower because I don't have my phone in my hand. Because
That's why I shower 8 hours a day.
That's
you know?
why I run in my shower, and it is
That's where all the gold comes.
confusing. My dog hates it. It's very weird. Have you ever had to untag yourself from a photo on social media?
Almost daily.
Why? Go on.
Yeah. Well, because people will post photos that are old of me, like in a relationship or something. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Or because people that don't know me, they're usually doing it.
Sure.
Or it's like someone will see something very funny, like, oh, this is a funny meme. I want Jeff to see it, but I'm not in the meme. It's not like nothing to do. I'm like, why would you tag me in this? Just maybe text it to me or DM it to me. You don't have to like tag me in it. So I like untag myself on that, and then also I have like OCD, so I like the way my thing looks. Like
Your page.
yeah, when you like scroll up and like look through them all.
Yeah, it's called an Instagram theme, right? Instagram aesthetic. Instagram, this is me showing my age going, what
There
is
you
it
go.
called when people have like an actual theme that I've never been able to actually figure out for myself?
Aesthetic.
Yeah, that you
Yeah,
have
and I like
that.
it to look a certain way. So if
What
something
is-
just looks weird, I'm like, ugh.
So how would you describe how your Instagram looks to someone that's never seen it?
Well, you're gonna think I'm so lame.
No, I'm a social media influencer and I need hot tips on how to get
I
my
don't think
Instagram.
it works. It's not like I get more likes because of it. But my goal with my Instagram page is I want it to look like I'm smiling. I want to be smiling a lot. And I also
Okay.
want it to be people. I don't want photos of things or places as much as it should. When you scroll down
Yeah.
mine, you're like, look, he's happy and he loves people. And so it's my friends, it's
That's
people
great.
I work with. I think that's what
so much more sincere than most people's themes are like red. That's it.
Yeah.
So like yours is so much more thoughtful and sincere
I want
than
people to see
most social media influencers.
that I'm around people. And that's what's important to me.
Well, that's a very sweet theme and you do it well. What's your like MO when you wake up in the morning of like, how do you post things? Like, how do you go through your social media?
I don't post that often. Maybe I do.
Bite my tongue.
Oh, do I? Do I post a lot? Well, I think I post on my story a lot.
You post, it's only been fascinating because you were coming on here, so I was stalking your whole Instagram,
Yeah.
and it was like, you post in bursts of threes.
Right.
You post like 3 photos out of nowhere once a day, and then that's it. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is an interesting way to post.
Well, there's
Am I
literally no
not-
strategy to
Oh,
my.
okay.
Yeah, there's
I didn't know
no-
if I didn't know something.
No, like well, it's not like it's working. You've seen my Instagram. It's not like I'm like, yeah, it's all part of my
All part of the plan.
average 200 likes ever. Like it's not like there's no grandiose plan.
You also tag yourself in all your photos.
Right. So that if you look at tagged photos, is that bad? Do people not do that?
Generally, no.
They don't.
No, I didn't know if that was a thing.
I didn't know that. Because I figure if people are looking for me,
They'll find your page. And then they'll see all your photos, and then they can see your tagged photos.
weird.
Welcome to my TED Talk about
Yeah.
Instagram.
I didn't know that. Because I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know if that was a thing. I was like, should I be tagging myself in all my photos so people can find them? Because Instagram changes every
We're
day
all
and
just
everyone
trying
hates
to
it.
figure it out.
Ugh, but also I hate it
Now
so
I know.
much. What's your least favorite form of social media?
Least favorite form of social media would be Twitter, but I have to do it. I feel like I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, well, I'll tell you, like,
Ooh, do you have anyone that you hate follow on Twitter or that you love follow on Twitter?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Best follow on Twitter is Randy Quaid.
Okay.
The best Twitter follow of all time.
Why?
Also, there used to be an NBA player named Chris Kaman. Well, he's just not in the NBA anymore, but or maybe he is. I don't know. He was a Clipper.
Okay.
He's this big, like crazy, kind of looks like a bald Bigfoot. You know, just like this big guy.
You really love Bigfoot, yeah.
Do. Even a hairless one that would play for the Clippers, and he's this big. And also, look him up, Chris Kaman, just this big guy, right?
Okay.
And he's a redneck. And
Okay.
so he'd be playing, like, let's say the Clippers are playing the Hawks. He would post a photo of him, like, with a dead hawk that he shot. And be like, playing the Hawks tonight. And you're like, oh my God. He's just showing, like, that's definitely against the law, too. You can't just, like, kill a hawk. And then he did it for the Bobcats. He's, like, holding up a dead bobcat. Lady
What?
cat.
And these
like
are
this,
real animals that he's
yeah,
just
he's like
going
this
out.
big redneck, and he, like, grew up in somewhere. And he's got, like, camo overalls, like, in the picture. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
I mean, that is also a specific aesthetic.
Also, Jose Canseco's great because he'll get into fights with his wife and just tweet about it, like, this dumb B word, and he'll put, like, photos of her that are really inappropriate that she wouldn't want. Yeah, and then the next
How do we not know that this is a thing?
and then the next morning he'll delete it all and then be like, with the love of my life, I can't imagine anything without her. Like he just posts all these flare-ups.
Do they not have a reality television
Oh, it's
show?
incredible.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break, and on this break, I'm going to go follow Jose Canseco
Yeah.
because he's important to me now. We'll be right back with your questions for Jeff Dye on Not Too Deep.
Not too deep.
Want to save money, save the planet, and look good doing it? It doesn't get any better than ThreadUp.
ThreadUp is the largest online consignment store where you can shop high-quality pieces for up to 90% off estimated retail.
They have over 35,000 brands, ranging from Gap to Gucci, with thousands of new items added every day.
You can find a Coach purse for $10, an Anthropologie dress for $6, and a Lululemon tank for $10.
What? Plus,
Insane, I know.
that's insane. Yeah, if you go to threadup.com/grace today, you'll also get an extra 30% off your first order.
It's super easy and fun to shop, save your sizes, your favorite brands, and filter for exactly what you want.
It's the comfort of shopping online with the insane deals of thrifting.
Look good and do good this year with ThreadUp.
So go to threadup.com/grace for an extra 30% off your first order.
That's THREDUP.com/grace, threadup.com/grace for 30% off today. Terms apply.
Not too deep.
Today's episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Hum. Hum Nutrition is all about making you look and feel your best.
Each specific supplement packs a combo of potent ingredients designed for specific aims, like clearer skin, boosted energy, fuller hair, and is backed by clinical results.
Hum focuses on preventing concerns and long-term care and repair, not damage control and covering up.
Their inside-out approach to beauty goes beyond skincare regimen alone to give you great results.
Hum's products are sustainably sourced, not GMO, and free of soy, gluten, artificial colors, and preservatives, plus lots of vegan options.
Try supplements like the Daily Cleanse, Hair Sweet Hair Growth Gummies, Uber Energy, and more.
If you aren't sure what you need, go to humnutrition.com/get_started to take a quiz and get personalized recommendations from Hum's team of registered dietitians.
To make things even easier, Hum offers a monthly vitamin subscription that's affordable, flexible, and convenient.
I mean, Hair Sweet Hair Growth Gummies. 1, I love a gummy vitamin. 2, I need to grow my hair out because my extensions have ravished my scalp uncontrollably. So 3, this is my best case scenario. I'm all for it.
I'm all for Uber Energy.
Ooh!
Because I am always tired. And
That's true.
And so now I'm taking.
And I need you to be awake to record these podcasts.
That's right. So I started taking Uber Energy, and I'm really enjoying it.
Like we said, go to humnutrition.com/get_started for your personalized recommendations and get 20% off your purchase with code GRACE.
That's humnutrition.com/get_started and code GRACE.
And we're back.
Hey, Jeff Dice here, Not Too Deep. Okay, we're going to get into these Twitter questions, but I'm going to ask you the 2 questions I ask every single guest that's on the podcast before we get into those. So first is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Oh, no.
It's not no necessarily.
Well, they're probably not going to like it, right?
Depends on the person.
Yeah, I guess. Some freak.
All right, so who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at for purposes that you don't have to explain to the audience right now?
Yeah, there's not many people I have ever thought about throwing cold spaghetti at.
That is the general thought behind.
Yeah, that's why it's a silly, fun question. I would probably throw
honestly
cold spaghetti at.
I feel like Terry would love it. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know him as a human, but seeing your relationship, he might find it kind of, sweet.
No.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
What about that
Can
pig?
I ask what other people have answered? What is your answer?
It's a full spectrum, and it changes day by day.
Okay, who would you like to throw cold spaghetti at today?
Honestly, right now, the pig at that winery that you met. I feel like that'd be the greatest gift
he
of
might
all
like
time.
that, yeah, 'cause
exactly.
he'd be like, "Oh,
that'd be a
thank
very
you.
nice thing.
She threw food at my face.
Please, I have a lap if you'd like to rest your chin.
Yeah, you like cold spaghetti, you little rascal? And then he's like, why did she bring cold spaghetti to this winery?
Hey, no one checked my pockets.
She's a nut.
I got through TSA with this.
She is zany. I would probably throw cold spaghetti.
We can come back to it if you want to think about it.
This is tough, man.
All right, so
Not Too Deep. Those are the hard-hitting questions.
I know that's the question you're
That's
the
the one I was
hardest one
most stumped
answering.
at, yeah.
All right, well, here's hoping you have an answer for this one.
Okay.
The other question I ask every single guest is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or close call, but you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases or a mix of the 2.
Okay.
So mine is college jogging front lawn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hollywood Video. Lying. And yeah. I was gonna say like horrible stank, but that's everyone's.
Yeah, no,
that's
that
part
you
of
can
it.
no. I mean, that's
That's-
just it rounds out the story.
Yeah. Oh man, what a world.
And there's no follow-up question, so that's really paints a horrible stanky picture
it was the
for
worst.
everyone. Okay, now let's get into some Twitter questions.
Okay, yeah.
Well, someone just asked who's your favorite person on Twitter, but I think you've already answered that. You can elaborate if you think of anyone else. But someone wants to know, what's your worst stand-up story?
I once opened for a band, and I wasn't good at comedy yet, to be honest. Like,
But also, I don't know why people ever book stand-ups to open for bands.
never works.
I've heard horror stories from other stand-ups that have the exact
works.
same scenario.
Yeah, but we just like money, so we're like, we got to do this. That's all it is. We know it's gonna be a nightmare. They hope it's not gonna be a nightmare, and then we get paid and we just drive home.
What's this?
This scenario is a little
story?
different because I wasn't getting paid. I was like not a successful comedian yet, but I had a friend who had this really great band in Seattle, and I hadn't seen him much. and they were like doing pretty good. They're growing pretty big. And then they were like, hey, we're playing this like venue. And I go, hey, can me and some friends come? And can I have tickets? And he goes, yeah, dude. And I just talked to my manager. Do you want to open for us? Like, do you want to do your stand up in front of our show? And I was like, no, that will be a horrible idea. We just want to come and support your band and whatever. And he goes, this is all text. It's not like on the phone.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, well, he said, he really wants you to do stand up in front of the thing. And then I was like, I know. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Then he came back with a text like probably 20 minutes later. Hey, you can have free tickets to the show. You can have a bar tab and we'll give you $200 if you open for us.
How old were you at this time?
I was in my 20s, but I was like real new at comedy and I had probably negative $400 in my bank account.
So you're making money.
Yeah, I was living in a Volkswagen Jetta. Like I didn't even have a home. I lived in the back seat of a car. I'm in no position to turn down $200 cash and a free bar tab, which whatever. So I did it and it was a nightmare. It was so bad that years after that in Seattle, when people would be like, hey, I've seen you do comedy before. I go, where? And they go, Giggles. And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Because I'm so psychologically devastated by that gig.
What was the style of music that the band played?
They were like, whatever, like if Incubus wasn't famous, it was like.
Oh, no.
No, I like that kind of music. You don't like Incubus?
No, they're very famous.
I love Incubus. I like them.
I'm just saying.
It was also like,
I'm saying, oh, no, I don't think people are going to a, Incubus-esque concert going, I hope I can giggle before it.
Yeah, and also like if anyone knows my comedy, or if you don't, like my act is like 80% smiling, 20% jokes.
That's
I
also
talk
your
about
Instagram.
Birds and kitty cats. Like I'm, what I'm saying? Like nobody's going to watch me be like, oh, I saw a bird on an airplane once.
Well, it's only gone up from there.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, good job. Someone wants to know your favorite WWE moment of all time.
I don't have any favorite moments. I know that's weird, but I do think like just like the Stone Cold like era, or like when I was a little boy, I liked Razor Ramon. I don't know, like I can't think of any matches or anything that were like these big, holy shit moments.
Yeah,
but I like it all.
What match would you want to see now?
I want to see
dream match. Anyone out of retirement. Anyone that's dead. Anyone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman.
Who hates me now.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he hates you at all.
I didn't realize how I had, for those of you that don't know, I was on Jeff Dye's podcast. And
you said he looked like a low rent. Wait, no, what was it?
He looked like a budget cast member of Rent. And then he tweeted at you about it, and I got scared because he is huge.
Yeah, you called the biggest guy in WWE.
I said I hate him so much.
Hate, I can't was the quote, I think. Hate, I can't.
I said very, very black and white definitively that I did not like him.
Yeah.
And
wrestlers are used to that though. Like you're talking about his character and all that.
But that's like that's a compliment in a way. That they're so like that's part of what they go for. They're either beloved or hated.
Yeah, some of those guys love being hated.
Mm-hmm. And some of them are just humans that I shouldn't say bad things about.
Why would he have hard feelings about a beautiful woman that's famous saying she hated him a lot?
That has no real knowledge of WWE, just has like a basic surface level and goes, I don't like him, he's boring.
I don't like his outfit.
I don't like...
That's where the first thing you attacked.
Yeah. And he has no say on what he has to wear in the ring.
Although, like to just piggyback on that, I said all I care. You're like, all he is big. And I was like, yeah.
That's
all he is big. Like, I agreed. So you should be kind of annoyed with me. I'm surprised you replied to it at all.
Okay, so your dream match is him.
Okay, Braun Strowman versus Diesel.
Oh, Vin?
Kevin Nash.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Can you imagine?
Braun Strowman versus Jason Statham. And he kills Jason Statham at the end.
Oh, I just want Mark Ruffalo to wrestle anyone. That's
That'd be a good match.
Yeah, that's my. If he comes out in tiny Hulk gear, I would love
I'd
every
like to
second
see
of
Hulk
it.
Hogan with his tag team partner Brooke Hogan versus Ric
His daughter,
Flair and
aka
his tag team partner Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's called Daddy Issues. Is the name of the match.
That'd be great. A Daddy Issues main event.
Oh, I would be glued to the screen.
Yeah, we all have those.
Okay, what someone wants to know, how did you get obsessed with WWE?
Oh, I think they were asking you that. No?
No, this is at Jeff Dye.
Because I read that one and I thought they were talking to me. Or I thought they were talking to you, I mean.
No, you can refuse to answer it if you don't
No,
want to.
it was one of the first things I saw when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I was like, actually, you know that bevy of toy collection that's behind me in my room?
Yeah, if you guys don't know, please go check out his podcast because it is it's interesting to have a conversation with you just surrounded by a fever dream of trinkets.
What does fever dream mean?
It's just literally you have so many collectibles and you just bring people into this room of collectibles and then say, now here we go, let's talk.
You are now in my youth.
Welcome to my teenage bedroom.
I'm comfortable with it. No, there's a bunch of these toys. I remember I went to this kid's house named Eric Barron's, really sweet kid. My mom and dad.
He's a huge fan of the podcast.
Well, I hope he is. Me and Eric both didn't have any friends at school, and so our parents made us hang out with each other. And so I went to his house. It's true. It's I guess we're friends now because nobody else wants us.
It's by default.
And he had those exact toys that are behind me on the ground, and I was so captivated by them. I was like, "Oh, these are really cool. What is this?" And he goes, "It's wrestling." And I was like, "What's wrestling?" And then he showed me a magazine, and then literally the next day at his house, it was on. And so I was like, "Oh," and we started watching it, and then from then I just became real obsessed. And that's why I'm still linked to those toys in a weird way in my childhood.
No, I get it. My older brothers were into Warhammer and that sort of thing. So anytime I walked past my older brother's room, it just smelled like fumes, and he was just painting tiny men, and we called him his tiny men. And it was, and he's now given it to my nephew.
And now your nephew does it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
do you hate that or love that?
No, it's very sweet. I was a bitch when I was younger and I hated it, but
Well,
now...
you were a kid. You weren't a bitch.
Also, I was just I'm trying to be cool, but I'm also a dork. So why am I...
Well, my sisters would do that about wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be wrestling's fake.
But see, that's how I got into wrestling was my older brother would watch Bushwhackers, and I love my older brother, so we would just do Bushwhackers in the attic room that we shared.
love it.
And then when I was in college, that's how you knew when I was drunk, is that I would just start doing Bushwhackers by myself in the
and all the
corner.
other cool kids that didn't watch wrestling she's a nut.
She dances
no,
weird.
It's a wrestling reference. She dances weird.
Which I didn't fully even understand because I was just mimicking my older brother the whole childhood. There's so many wrestling questions. Someone wants to know if you could get body slammed by any wrestler, active or retired, who would it be and why?
Weird question. Oh, I'd like to be hurt by which wrestler?
I mean,
I guess I'd like to be hurt by the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a fun one.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best. He's the sweatiest, and also does
the craziest.
When he did his promos and he just turns his back to the camera constantly. It's my favorite thing ever.
And he was on a bevy of cocaine and
the most obvious
steroids. And he there's a famous monologue. Anyone who knows wrestling knows what I'm about to reference, but if you haven't watched wrestling, there's a great clip of the Ultimate Warrior basically doing a promo to Hulk Hogan where he describes a terrorist attack. He's like, "When we're on the plane, Hogan, I will go into the cockpit and those pilots will make the ultimate sacrifice. Then I will grab the controls and I will navigate the plane into the mountain." He's he's going to kill everyone.
Don't let him on a plane.
It makes no sense. He said he would kill the pilots so that he could take control. It's insanity. And this is children's morning television. This was Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, this is live action cartoons.
It's
basically.
insane. What the things they got away with is how are they showing this to children?
And it's shaped who we are as adults.
That's right, man. I love them. But I was going to say my sister would always pick on me because you said you were a bitch, but that's just what siblings do.
Well, no, I just refused my older brother and younger brother love Magic the Gathering. They love Pokemon. They love Warhammer. They love Dungeons and Dragons, all of that. And there was a store in the mall called Wizards or something. And,
Sounds about right.
Yeah, my dad would take
Wasn't
us.
it like Wizards of the East or something like
Something
that?
like that. And my dad would take us on Wednesday visitation, and my brothers would go in there, and I would sit there and refuse to go inside.
Really? Why did you have such a problem with it?
I just was like,
I hate when
don't-
people enjoy things I don't know about.
I know. I was terrible. God bless my father for trying to balance my brothers and myself out at the same time. I was
Why
like,
can't they
just
like
take me to the
everything
limited
I'm
too.
interested in?
I want to go to Claire's.
Yeah, I want to go shoplift at Claire's.
Well, I wasn't. I was a dork. I would never dream of doing that.
Well, my sister would always go, wrestling's fake. And I used to be like, I think you're dumb. And I was a boy. I was like a little kid. And I was like, I think you're dumb for believing that I'm dumb enough to think this is real. Like, I'm aware that it's I don't think
That
that
this
a
is full
giant and a
theater.
sergeant and an Indian got together in a ring to settle their... I know it's fake. And in the same way, when you're watching like Cheers or Friends, I'm not like, they're not really friends. They're just actors. Yeah. Everything is a story. We have to suspend disbelief.
Except Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox are really good friends in real life.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've heard.
It is real.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
Yeah, it's a documentary. I didn't know if you
Oh,
knew that.
my dreams. Yes, Ross and Rachel together again.
This is maybe the weirdest tweet we've ever gotten for a Not Too Deep guest. And it's kind of a visual, so apologies to anyone that's listening to this right now.
Well, we can link to it in the show notes.
Oh, thank
There we
God.
go.
Because I don't know if this
Also,
is...
put a link to Wizards of the East.
God, I gotta ask my dad what that store was called. I know exactly where it was. It's right next to the Macy's. But I don't know if it's Tiffany Amber Thiessen or this is actually a photo of this woman.
Okay.
She tweeted, "Is Jeff Dye married? If not, does he like older women? Does it help that I am also a Seattle native?" And then I think she tweeted this selfie of her, which I don't know if this is Tiffany Amber Thiessen from Saved by the Bell or actually this woman.
She might be really flattered that you think that it could be Tiffany Amber. What a nice thing to say.
Yeah, she's beautiful, but this is the most direct.
I'll answer.
Like-
no, it doesn't help that you're from Seattle. No, I don't want to marry you. And
Well, no, it's
I
just-
mean,
he
maybe
just-
I'd be
she
interested in
just
older
asked-
women, but what a strange approach, ma'am.
She just asked if you're married and do you like older women? Does it help that I'm also a Seattle native?
Not married, no interest, and
Well, you
no
really,
interest in getting married.
you fucked up my chance to be a matchmaker. So
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you got to come a little harder than that. You gave me one option of a lady you don't even know.
Amy J9M1.
Good for her.
Of course I know
You
her.
seem like a sweet lady. I also think that maybe she doesn't know how Twitter works. Or dating works, for that matter. That's
But-
not how dating starts.
but
No, I've never met a girl this way.
I-
Hey, you like older gals?
I mean,
You might be hitched,
This
but
is
I'm
my
not.
future, just so you know. This is how I'm going to be using Twitter in like 10 years.
Wrong.
So do not hate on this wonderful
I'm
woman
not
that's putting
hating.
herself out there. She's making herself vulnerable.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm on your side, Amy J9M1, which is probably a bot, and this might be a sex bot. Who knows? Okay.
No, if it's a sex bot, there wouldn't be like a nice cropped photo of her in front of a fireplace. It would be her boobs and butt or something, right? Like, you like older women? Here's my crotch.
Go on.
That's how sex bots work. That's how sex bots work. And you're like, I'm not sure it's real. There's 0 followers, and all right, I'll follow just in case it is real.
On that note, we've reached the end of the podcast. Jeff, thank you so much for being here. But as a guest of Not Too Deep, we give everyone a very, very special gift. And
This is fun.
it's a personalized fortune cookie just for you.
Can I ask you a question about fortune cookies?
1,000% yes.
When they come to the table,
Mm-hmm.
I get I get very excited when the fortune cookie comes.
Yeah.
Because I never am expecting it. I don't eat this kind of food that often.
You shouldn't
Chinese
eat
food?
this, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can
Are
eat it.
you-
It's
You
fine.
You can, but
Do you eat the cookie or do you just break it open and leave it? Or what kind of person?
I eat it because I'm a
I eat
garbage
it.
monster. I'm literally a garbage disposal of sugar, even in the smallest bits, which is like a fortune cookie. But
Garbage monster.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not the way a fortune cookie is normally. It's folded in there like it
Drag us, Jeff. Drag us.
like someone pushed it in there with a toothpick. Like slide it in there.
Some might say that's exactly what happened before you got here.
I didn't get one. It's just a gusher. Someone put a fruit snack in mine. They must have heard I can't read.
I'll read
You
it
ready?
to you if you want
It's
me to.
a big fortune.
Yeah, it's very long. Sorry.
My future is long.
Well, I think it's about Braun Strowman.
You ready?
Yeah.
We know you ordered the bionic penis male sex robot.
Oh, never mind.
But we also know you only did it as a decoration for your house, which is weirder.
Yeah. So
Listen,
that's your fortune.
I don't know how you know any of this,
We're
and
very
I won't be shamed. I'm allowed to like whatever I want, man or robot.
Yeah, no, you have a very beautiful spread in your house. You have very specific aesthetic, as
Yeah.
we've already gone over, and so we're just letting the audience know that there's many elements to it.
I imagine that robot will be treated better at my home than any sort of pervert who wants to rough up a robot. I will be tender and nice. Treat that robot with the respect it deserves if it was alive.
Can I have that clip as a separate clip after we do this so I can post it to promote this episode? That'd be like very special to me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Grace.
Yeah, Jeff, where can
Sincerely.
people find you, your podcast, and whatever you're doing if they don't already know?
At Jeff Dye, tons of tagged photos of me.
Tag them because he's going to tag himself regardless.
I'm so humiliated. I'm going to spend a good amount of time this week just going through untagging all my photos. I didn't know. I thought it would help people find me, but
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think it's bad.
I feel like you thought it was bad.
I just didn't. I honestly didn't know.
Even
I
the
didn't
producer
know.
goes, that's not a thing. Like a concern, like almost a fatherly moment of like, son.
How do we tell him?
Everybody's been talking about it.
Okay, where can they listen to your podcast?
iTunes, just go to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast.
And when does it come out?
It's every Wednesday.
Very cool. And are
Yeah.
you doing any? I don't know when this episode will come out.
Any
February
shows?
4th. Will you be
My
anywhere in
birthday.
February?
That's my birthday, February 4th.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you so much.
Will you be anywhere in February that people can go find you?
Just go to jeffdye.com and my whole calendar's there because I don't really memorize it.
Yeah, and I'm sure things change last minute. Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, this has been
You guys should
awesome.
go listen to his podcast. I was on an episode a couple weeks ago. It
Yeah.
was super fun. I talked way more about wrestling than I ever anticipated talking about.
Wait, did I already tell you? I might have already repeated this sentence to you.
What?
But like, I take everything you say like, oh, she knows what she's talking about.
Oh,
like,
no,
I
please
do.
don't.
I really do about everything. I'm like, no, I respect her. She definitely knows more than me. I didn't even graduate high school. But but you said like, oh, I listened to an episode because I was gonna be on it, and you were like, it's very like dude heavy. It's very bro-y.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no,
well,
we're
that
too
was-
bro-y. And then she came on and only wanted to talk about pro wrestling.
I think I just got absorbed in the
Yeah.
trinkets and the bros around me that I tried
You're
to
like,
be
this
one
is
of
way
the.
too bro-y. Enough about my life. Let's talk about wrestling.
Let's talk about dudes hitting dudes.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk about feminism. Fully support it. So we'll see you guys next time. Another episode of
Seems
Not Too
sincere.
Deep. Goodbye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Want to save money, save the planet, and look good doing it? It doesn't get any better than ThreadUp, the largest online consignment and thrift store. Shop over 35,000 brands at up to 90% off estimated retail. Go to threadup.com/grace for an extra 30% off your first order. That's threadup.com/grace. Threadup.com/grace for an extra 30% off today.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated, producer and directed by Jack Ferry.
Producer and editor, Melissa D. Mons.
Writing by Diane Kang. Post-production sound by Chris Henry.
And an extra special thanks to Flula for the theme music.